drilling machine called the Guelph. And what it does, it's usually recycled clay you just put in, and it goes with a big auger vacuum and comes out in a big round block, and it's all mixed and basically wedged. I had sleepless nights because it was so expensive, but since I've been a potter now for 25 years here in Canada, it's been the best investment for my wrists. To think, you know, I've made thousands of mugs to have to wedge all that.
So wedging is sort of like kneading dough almost?
It's like dough. It's to get the air bubbles out from the clay, and if you've done stuff that you don't want anymore, clay is a good material. It's different than wood in the sense that you can just recycle it. And this is just basically a good tool. So I have a jig that has, as you can see here, and you'll see it in a second. Let's turn this on. And basically, it's like a big poo machine.
That's like a sausage machine or something,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like Play-Doh?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't put the vacuum on because it's so loud. So that's how I would make them. I lay them out on a piece of wood, on a board, and let them dry until they're leather hard. So that's how I make these guys that are right there. 21 by 25, and this one is 20 by something. So just slightly different things. So what I would do...
So they're made of plaster?
Yes. So I lay them on this because I don't want plaster to end up in the clay. And I have lots of clay there that is specially mixed for me. My first kachelofen that you see in my shop, I used clay that I thought would work for this. Because in Germany you can just order handmade kachelofen clay. And here I thought hand-building clay would come closest. So I made all the kacheln for stove that I was going to end up, I don't know where, but, and fired them for the first time. Everything was fine, and then glazed them, and they all cracked. 50% of them cracked. And then I realized I had to get my supplier to mix special clay. He mixes batches, and that's what I use now. So it has a lot of grog in it. Like when you feel it, like it has a lot. It's very gritty. It shrinks only 7%, whereas normally porcelain shrinks like 13%, something like that. Wait a minute, that's not what I want to do. Excuse me. I haven't done these for a while.
That was a quick cut.
Huh?
It was a quick cut.
Yeah. Well, I've been filling these guys for the last, I haven't done flat ones for a while. Actually, I've trained my brother-in-law. He's been doing them, so. Now you see it says Muskoka, and it's not the right one for Chesapeake's, but it's going to work. Press it all in the corner. Why my brother-in-law now is doing this. If I do all these like hundreds, it's very physical. And I'm okay with it, but there's other jobs right now that I need to do, like hustle for another oven or have a little bit too much clay. Speed River Bicycle upstairs, bicycle store over on this end. So when I did my apprenticeship, we had drafting, like the drawings that you saw, and we learned how to make one of these. That's my extent of training for building these whole stoves. So the last 7 years have been, I throw this out because there might be plaster in it. So it's been a long haul of trial and error, like just lots of disasters actually. But it's getting better.
What was a disaster for us?
Oh. Where do you want to start?
Biggest one?
Well, for one, that there's nobody here who knows to install them, and it's hard to, or like, for instance, losing all the cajon. Oh, I don't even know where to begin.
Well, it's great that they have Mario.
Oh, Mario is awesome. Yeah, excuse me, I have to get Steiges together. So that's what I would do. I would fill them all, and then I have clay in my face. You guys will tell me now that you're filming me. I'm afraid
You're fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would build all these, and when I take them, I would just leave it like this. And when this kind of gets a bit drier, it becomes a consistency where you can just smooth it out. And I'll show you on an unfinished piece, or pieces that I have just taken out of the mold. But they're all wrapped up because I have to finish them, kind of make sure they're, I'll show you right now, I'll get one piece. So, and you see here, if I'm cleaning them up, I would use my knife and kind of just smooth it out and clean all the corners. Try to not have plaster anywhere. That's what I would do.
And then you fire it. That's not fire right.
No, no, and then I fire it for the first time, once. And that's what you see out there. I can show you the rest of the, when it's bisqued, we call it bisqued, the first firing. And then I glaze them all. I can show you that if you want me to glaze one kachel.
Yeah.
Yeah?
If you're up for it, that'd be great.
Okay, so I'll show you all the pieces over there and then we'll come back here to glaze one piece or so. Some oven builder, we would knock them off, but we don't do that. Like Mario can work without it, not knocking them off. But in my apprenticeship, I had no idea why we had to build them like this. I had no clue. You just do what you're told. But I realize now it's so that they can stand, and yeah. So industrial cajon wouldn't have this. Yeah.
Why do you have so many different?
Kilns. This is baby bear, mama bear, papa bear. That's how they're labeled in my box.
Can you fire at the same time?
No, can't. I don't have enough power to do so. But this one is mostly for testing. But then you still have to test it in the big kiln. These things here are combs. They melt at a certain temperature, and we have tons of different ones, different degrees. They're variable of 20 Celsius, meaning, and you wonder, you say, well, you have these electronic. Yes, I do, but when this cools down, so does this, and I don't know exactly what the temperature was inside, whereas the combs will harden, like they don't melt any further than they should, and then when they cool down, I can tell you exactly what temperature the kiln actually reached in which spot. That's why we have these. Glaze is right.
So you pour it over so that you avoid brush strokes or something, or?
Yeah, and brushing them would take forever.
Too long,
Except
yeah.
though with the red stove, I did brush each one because it was a different kind of glaze. And so sometimes I do it twice, and sometimes I just do it once. Because I do, as I said, I really like the different, the ovens I realize look just so much better when they have a little bit of play in them and not so uniform. And when you look at stoves in Germany now, Germans really like very perfect grub lines and perfect complement. And that's great. It's just, I'm glad that here in Canada I can start with a fresh piece of paper and show them what really looks nice. But